In October, that tragic event at the Jewish synagogue, the same tragic events that happened also at churches in the South and what happened in New Zealand are all connected by the same hate groups. They're all following the same manifesto and the same book. And the history of the state, as you've heard from many today, with freedom of religion is very, very deep and very strong. And maybe some of you in the audience, probably our Muslim community, may not know that the first synagogue in America was established in Newport, Rhode Island. And there are bad elements, everywhere, but always there are small and few. But when the majority is silent, they thrive and they become very disruptive and very dangerous. And it's time for us all, to be together. I believe there was a desecration of Jewish cemetery that happened recently, and there's an event on Tuesday, I believe, to go to the Jewish cemetery. I invite you to go to that. When I heard of that, it reminded me, obviously beyond what's going on in the world now, a story many of you may not know between the connections between what Muslims do. Usually, during the Second World War, when the Nazis attacked, France, and they were going after, Jews in France. One way, that the Jewish community could escape the Nazis was to go to the local, mosque and ask they be given, Muslim names. And when they get buried, even they were going and destroying the Jewish graves. So Jewish, residents of Paris, with the Grand Mufti of the mosque in Paris, were buried in a Muslim cemetery with Muslim names just to hide their identity and to protect them. And the Mufti did that as a way of standing solidarity with the Jewish people and doing the right thing against aggressors. I hope that we can use that example from history to always be connected again, and be fighting as a force against the common enemy. It's always wrong to ask a professor to MC an event, because I'm going to drop in a few things. But our next speaker from the Jewish community is Rabbi David. Please come.
I'm honored to be here, but I must say that I'm not a rabbi, even though my mother wanted me to be one. I am representing the Jewish community in Temple Emmanuel. I was at Temple Emmanuel immediately before coming here with Rabbi Wayne Franklin, who had intended to come but was tied up with business at the temple today. Many of us were here on Monday night at the vigil, and it was very sad and unfortunate, and I had to say to people, I'm glad to meet you, but I'm sorry it's under these circumstances. It is much better for us to be brothers and sisters in good times and meet like this, so that we may get to know each other and know, the kind of people we are, and to say that we hope for a better world as brothers and sisters, so that may we all meet in better times. Thank you.